Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, Huge Pop, once again with you, bringing to you Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. I have a special guest tonight, the Black Diamond, the man that took out the trash years ago, Mr. Scene Nick. What's going on, my guy?
Hey, nothing too much. How about you, man?
Doing, man, and relaxing. I got the opportunity to talk wrestling with another friend of mine, and I appreciate you coming on board at Huge Pop Wrestling.
No doubt, I'm relaxed and doing this from my bed, my very expensive bed, because I'm the Black Diamond of professional wrestling, as you all know. So, yeah.
The Mariah Carey interview, right?
Right.
Dude,
So I'm doing the Rainbow album.
Man, what were your first memories of wrestling? What got you?
Oh wow. First memories, like my older brother's always in the WWE growing up, and he's always big into Hulk Hogan. I didn't really like Hulk Hogan. I thought it was kind of hokey then. So my dad, he was all into NWA because from Georgia. Um, and he turned on the first Clash of Champions. It was the main event, Ric Flair defending against Sting. And from that moment, I was hooked. 4 years old, hooked. And that's revealing my age, you all, but Botox helps. So, but that was what got me into wrestling.
And was it?
Loved everything.
Was your favorite? Was it Sting then? Is that would that be the guy you?
Oh yeah, well, it's always been between like Flair and Sting, but whenever like they would face each other, it was the one time I actually went against Flair, and I was like, okay, I'm cheering for Sting right now.
No, I've always been a Sting fan, man. I got hooked on it when I started going to the rafters. I like the California, the surfer guy Sting. I like that, But what got me hooked with Sting was rafters and had his quiet time, and then came down to face NWO. So, but my favorite, my goat, I would say, is a wrestling.
I wasn't too big of a fan of Wolfpack Sting. I try to forget that happened, but still like Sting.
I guess. So when did you? Was that? Would you say that was probably the first time you said, you know what, I want to be in the wrestling business?
Oh, absolutely. I thought, at the time, oh, I'm gonna be this big wrestler when I grow up. I'm gonna go to get a high school, all this stuff. But then, a thing called genetics kind of comes into play, and you realize, all right, I'm not gonna be that big. Then you say, okay, cruiserweight, maybe I could do that. And then, nah, I like sweets, so that's not gonna happen.
Right.
So, and then you accumulate some things in life, like because once again genetics, stuff on my leg, things like that. So I couldn't really ever wrestle. So I thought, okay, the dream's not dead. What else could I potentially do? And it kind of is weird how it happened. I started doing with social media, working for a company through social media, because the wrestlers weren't promoting the event. I kept doing it, and this is way back like 2014 or so. Yeah, 2014. Started doing that, and I got hired on. And from there, the promoter liked my work ethic, and he said, "Hey, would you like to help me do this?" And X, Y, and Z. He did that, helped with merchandising. From there, started doing helping with booking, helping with a little bit of promoting, then backstage interviews, and then from there, it's like, all right, I want more, but I want to be taken seriously because in the business, you don't want to just get things without any like proper training, stuff like that. So went to One Fall Power Factory with Ray Lloyd, Glacier.
Okay.
And from there, just started taking off, doing ring announcing, commentary, managing. Sometimes taking moves I shouldn't be taking with my health issues, but hey, I did it and I had fun with it.
Was it always in the indies, or was it ever in
WCW? I'm not that old, but
I mean,
my Botox wearing off. All right,
I guess.
but it was always like I never got those opportunities because again, when you come in, you're manager, ring announcer, whatever, it's a little harder to get those like tryouts of those times, but it always usually be the bigger indies and stuff like that I work. Um, and like it's to the point even to this day where, and I sit back, I'm shocked by it still. I turn down a lot of bookings. I just do stuff kind of, intermittently here and there. I don't want to burn myself out, so to speak, because burnout can be real, and I just like taking my time with it.
So what? So who in the industry was your biggest influence? Have a manager, promoter that you follow that you said, "Oh, I want to be like this guy."
Oh, absolutely. Growing up, initially, JJ Dillon, seeing how like intimidating he was, like I always liked how when opponents be thrown outside the ring, you would think he was gonna do something, but he just stands over them. Like I could hurt you, but I'm not gonna do anything right now. It always be that tease. So I thought about it. That's an influence. Um, Another one, Bobby Heenan, of course. Brilliant on commentary. I look up to him, and although a controversial figure, Jim Cornette, look up to him. And the older I get, the more I agree with him. But also Sherry Martell, who doesn't get enough credit. Just her being absolutely so hateable and that make you want to like go after her, something like that. That inspired the kind of heat I wanted. Like when I went to that feud with, we'll talk about later, Duke the Dumpster Drozy, that was all inspired by her
Okay.
because I wanted people to hate me so much that they wanted to attack me. So, and a few times that almost happened.
There you go. So, so now, what is your thoughts of Paul Heyman? Do you like as a manager? Is that one of your guys that you look up to, or
I do like him as a talker. I liked him back in the day when he had the whole tuxedo match feud with Cornette. Um, you know, I always looked at him more of I don't know. I look at him for his mind as a booker and promoter
okay?
more so than his managing. It's kind of his work in ECW kind of superseded how I looked at him as a manager.
Okay.
Not even bad or anything like that. Not even close. But I just look at him more as a booker promoter.
Okay.
Anything now.
Have you ever met like Jim Cornette? Have you had the opportunity to meet those guys? Any of those guys that influence?
I got to meet Jim Cornette at a convention. How long? Probably had to be maybe 6 years ago.
Okay.
Um, you would think you hear these stories about people, but he was really nice, down to earth, shook my hand. I talked to him. He took the time to give me advice, talk to me. Um, so nothing but love and respect for him for that. And some of the others I haven't gotten a chance to meet. And I had opportunity to meet Sherry Martell as a year or so before she passed, and for whatever reason things came up I didn't get to, but I would have loved to have met her and just like kind of pick her brain, talk to her because I really think she deserves more credit than she gets.
Now, would you say that she's probably your favorite manager of all time? Of the
At this point, it kind of fluctuates sometimes. Sometimes it'll be Bobby the Brain number one, maybe Jim Cornette number one, but I really had to put her number one. Um, on a like right now ranking like number one her, then Bobby, then Jim. That's kind of like part of my Mount Rushmore.
kind of the goat of management? Would you say? Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So in the indies, what is the exact role of a promoter, manager? Is it just more just like getting a guy's name out, or is it because in WWE and AEW, you see the managers, and of course you don't see as many anymore, but
Right.
they're just by the wayside, and they're the mic piece in the ring. But
Yeah.
I've got to believe, talking with XIW and knowing their promotion, etc. There's more than just your one job. So
Oh, absolutely. Like when I do it, when I had the opportunity to manage someone, I like to first have that conversation with them. What are you about? Show me some of your matches. what are you thinking? Where are you thinking about your career? Maybe 5 years from now, maybe 3 months from now, even. Um, from there, meet with them, work with them, come up with maybe some marketing, some merchandise. I love to do things like that and implement that into the story and into the promotion just to make everybody kind of, go further because at the end of the day, that should be the goal of delivering the benefit. And I think I hate to say it's lost, but it's lost in independent wrestling scene. It doesn't happen. And usually if you do get a manager out there, it's usually just some random dude or some girl who happens to be you know dating somebody or whatever, but they don't really have an idea of what it really takes to get the job done, and that it's really not just okay, I'm at the show and I'm done. It's before the show, during the show, after the show.
I talked to many guys and wrestlers. It's just not the in ring, the 15 minutes. It's
Mm-hmm.
you get to the arena 3 hours before. In the Indies, they help set up the ring and all this
Yep.
stuff, and they tear it down too. We were just at the XIW last, and I had the opportunity to talk to young young professionals. And
Oh yeah.
and he was telling my wife that he might have he wrestled an hour ago. He has to stay around because his job is to help tear down the ring because small thing like that, there's any job.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And everyone has their part, and in order for everything to just to work, everyone has to do their part. It
Right.
can't be okay. I'll think about it, or I might do it. No, you have to do it. It's more. It's so much more than reaching out, getting that booking, and then okay, that's it. Bye for now. It's a constant thing. You have to keep going.
So man, I will say this: ever since I met you, even in XIW when you were there, you have had a way you carry yourself is a positive way. You're always confident. How do you stay that positive in this society now in the wrestling business? All the garbage that you hear about. How do you stay positive? And with all the social media crap that backstage shit that happens,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, the CM Punk, the Young Bucks, and that whole scenario, and then there's stuff that I know about that we'll talk about later that happens outside of the box. How do you
Yep.
stay positive, man? You are even on Facebook, positive, and your promo that you cut, man, it was amazing. It was positive. How do you do?
It's sometimes this could be it could be a challenge just like anything in life, but I try to look at it like this. There's always going to be some crap that goes on in your day you don't expect, or things from people you don't expect. At the end of the day, you can't let that bad interaction, that moment, encapsulate the entire day. You have
Right.
24 hours in a day. Even if it's 11:59 p.m., make that last minute worth something positive for you. Own that. It's all about taking a mindset too of I'm not letting anybody control me and how I feel and how I'm gonna feel the rest of the day. They may piss me off for maybe a few minutes or so, but I'm not gonna carry that all the way. I refuse to. Life is too short, and that's kind of the mindset I have. Like you had to keep in mind, life is too short. If something were to happen to me right this minute, I don't want to have my last stop being, oh, I'm so pissed off this person and how they treated me and all that. I want to think about something good, something uplifting. And I try to keep my mind focused on that despite what's going on because, like you said, there's a lot of, I can curse on here, right or not?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of shit in this world and a lot of shit in wrestling that's very frustrating. But I had to keep in mind, why did I want to do this? Why am I doing it? And usually that kind of that pulls me out of it. If that doesn't, go for a hobby, I either try and play video games, you know, I suck at them these days, or I try to listen to music, you know, or make music.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Positive. You know, my wife and I, we work, like I said, we work with kids all day long. It gets hectic and it gets frustrating. Like, oh my God, but you have to really think, this. Why am I doing it? Doing it
Yep,
because I love kids. I'm one moment. This one moment's not going to affect the rest.
absolutely.
So I appreciate that statement. You.
Thank you.
Uh, okay. How did you get your in-ring name, Scene Nick?
You know, it's
I
fun.
don't think your name's Scene Nick. So you gotta like burst, burst the bubble here.
I mean, you never know. It might be. No kidding. But
It's a work.
it's interesting because like my real job, my shoe job, I'm a mental health counselor. And I was thinking, I'm like, okay, I want to be able to keep in touch with people on Facebook, but I don't want a patient to find me on Facebook either. So, and I thought about how I wanted to do like a little DJing on the side of music. I said, okay, what can I come up with? It's the corniest thing, but looking outside the windows, okay, it's real sceneries, you know. And I thought, okay, Scene Nick, and I broke that in half. And okay, first name Scene, last name Nick. So,
Hey, I appreciate that. That's legit. I mean, I'll
yeah,
tell you what. It's Pop Wrestling Podcast. Huge Pop is my name. I'll tell you why. Huge. I'm a big guy and I collect Funko Pops, so it fit.
ah,
Huge Pop
see,
Wrestling Podcast. So I mean, you know, we all. I think it's just a common thing. Nicknames.
oh, definitely.
Um, Back in the '80s, we've seen a lot of managers at ringside than we do now.
Oh yeah,
How do you feel that's happening?
it's a lot of guys. It's become more of the mindset of a lot of wrestlers, a lot of promoters. I don't need a manager. I can speak for myself. And I think it's the mentality of they don't realize it's more than just the speaking part. It's how you get yourself over to the crowd, to the audience. I'm out there to help amplify you to make people hate you more. I'm out there to eventually let you be able to do that on your own. Because when everything's said and done, and I turn on you, or you turn on me, there's a pop there, a huge pop. Ha!
Huge Pop. There you go. Oh, that's a good.
And you know that's that's
I seen it coming.
see. Oh, you seen it? Oh, I think that's just a lost art to it, and people don't think because even on the indies, you have guys.
Yeah, my wife says as long as she's never misses Huge Pop, so she's not.
Oh,
All right, man. We got rid of that stuff. Now we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. All right.
uh-oh.
Yeah, I was right. There's several things that's gonna be nitty gritty. Then we're gonna casually turn it back into to close it out. But
Oh, yeah.
let's let the cat out of the bag here. Duke the dumpster drug.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
just gotta show you. I got some things he wants me to tell you. I'll
Is
tell you. So tell me about Duke the Dumpster Drozy and your feud.
Oh, okay. What he's going to say is that he came up with all of this himself. Wrong. I met him November 2018. We did a show in Tennessee. Big show. Had Jake Chris there, Dave Chris, all of them. And I was managing a guy by the name of Nick Tramer at the time. And he was supposed to just hitting him with the trash can lid and all that, and that'd be done. And I'm just sitting back. I'm like, that can't be it. That needs to lead or something. So I started antagonizing him on social media, and eventually led to this whole confrontation we're supposed to have in January. Had a confrontation. He didn't get to touch me because, haha, y'all didn't pay enough for that. Then it kind of leads to February. All right, let's have a no DQ match. And no DQ match because I'm gonna have Nick Tramer in the back. You know, he's not gonna come out. It's gonna be him and I. Do no DQ, and not that I set this up, but four of the guys happen to beat him up while I'm out there and get him bloody. I just happen to make the pin, so
I
I got the pin.
watched that match. He
Yep.
got his ass beat.
Yes.
Bad. And I'm like, damn. And of course, like
And
you
with
said,
the
you
first down myself.
casually, you pinned him. That's all you needed to do.
Yeah, that's all I need to do.
Well,
The procedures was formed that night.
let me say this. He says, ask him why he's such a psychopath who can't work a lick and never manage a winner. Why is he such a fanboy?
Let's see. First things first. He's obsessed with me because he follows me on every post I make, follows everything I do on Twitch, on TikTok, all that. Number two, I don't manage winners. I managed Nick Tramer, I got him to a championship, and I beat Duke the Dumpster Droz, a former New Generation star. So, yeah.
I'm just saying, that's what he said. And then he
He's
says,
phenom.
he says, during the podcast, tell him I said I singly handed, he said, tell him I said that I single handedly made him relevant on the indie.
Yeah, says the guy whose career I revived. I made him have a sold out show because he never got that when he was feuding with Triple H back and then getting beat up by him. So I'm just saying.
All right. Hey, I mean, I just had to, that's just the beef I got. I dug up some shit. I wanted to make this interesting, and I was shocked. I posted I posted your promo on TikTok. My God, within 5 minutes, he says, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, he's a stalker.
So I go, "So what do you mean? What the fuck?" He says, and he blew my thing up. He goes, "Oh my God." And I guess what I'm saying, you're relevant because that's people are going, "Oh God." So hey, let's talk about your XIW experiences, pros and cons.
Pros, fun, laid back show, atmosphere. It's organized from the backstage perspective. Like I knew what I was doing. I didn't have, and also I had the confidence and trust from the promoter. They weren't in my ear every 5 seconds because that's the most annoying thing in the world. Someone's in your ear every 5 seconds, and it's like I'm gonna forget what I'm supposed to do. Let me do my thing. But just that experience is great. The negative, um, I mean, it's promotion. Look, curse is gonna happen. It's cool. Um, it was a big thing was they were telling us, don't use the F word, but then someone goes out there and yet says it repeatedly. I'm like, all right, but the most negative thing is who's not there anymore, and that's Johnny Naka.
And we'll talk about that. You ever go back? Will we ever see Nick get back at the XIW?
Yeah. I mean, it's up to the promotion. I've reached out. And again, because I take other bookings, different states. I can't be hanging on the phone like forever saying, "Oh, call me, call me." So
I know in December, not a plug, it's a plug. December, the XIW Arena, all belts are bought in a steel cage. So excited about that. December 10th.
December 10th, yeah.
Yeah, so
Zach Moses is gonna win. Just saying.
God, I hope. Tiger King, Jesus, no, please, no. Why? Why would you say that?
He's a mullet maniac.
Yeah, I guess. Cut his hair. Yes. How did it feel? One of the best things I ever seen. How did it feel to put Adrian Whisper in his place by sending him to the cafeteria?
Oh, that was the best. And he just had this little bitch walk about him too, and he went back there. I'm like, exactly. That was the best thing.
So I laugh at that. I laugh. The reason why I say that is because I have a picture. I'll have to send it to you. We went to the last XIW event. My wife and I had VIPs. Walked up there, and I joke about it, but in all aspects, it's pretty cool. Guess who was serving food? Adrian Whisper.
Wow.
I said, so I told him, I took a picture. I said, you still in the cafeteria or what? You still haven't got your job back? But I will say this. It's his promotion, and he does what he has to do. I think that's great. I think
it's all hands on deck, and since he's captain of the ship, he's out there. He's doing everything. So props to him.
So, first question. I think it's a shoot.
Maybe.
Johnny Knockout.
Oh, piece of shit. Absolutely no redeemable qualities whatsoever. And the thing is with him, like if he had an issue with me, I'm right back there the whole night. He would give me some weird looks every now and then, not a single word. And that tells me what kind of man he is too. He's a pussy. He can't face anyone one on one. He wants the very thing he accuses others of doing, hiding behind social media. That's exactly what he does. And he's a pure example of like steroids gone wrong. Because if he takes that needle out of his ass, it's nothing but fat. Real talk. And even with the muscles, like he doesn't have any brains behind it. He's not as good as he thinks he is in the ring. Just yet, no redeemable qualities, and the fact that he's, some racist comments he made that can be interpreted as racist. Some of the just disgusting things he said is just, I have absolutely no respect for him. And some people say, well, because for me being counselor, what about mental health? I'm like, okay, yes, there's mental health, but some people in the world, they're just pieces of shit, and he's one of those people.
But not a shoot, not a work.
No, oh no.
It's a real shit, real time.
Oh, yeah.
I see he posts some videos on YouTube, and he just seems like a jackass. Like a better words.
Johnny Jackass,
Johnny Jackass. So, but I just wanted to touch base on that. I know I don't. That was a bad situation, and it turned out it turned ugly. I hate seeing that. I don't like seeing guys go through that. I don't like seeing what you had to go through, what Adrian had to go through, what Jackson had to go through. I just don't like seeing that. But so I just wanted to briefly touch on that. We don't have to go any further on that. So,
it's just one of those unfortunate things in business. You have people trying to work hard, keep a promotion going. You have someone that's just trashed in the locker room that just brings everything down. The only thing I will say positive about him, I just really hope that at some point he wakes up and thinks, okay, what I'm doing is wrong, what I'm saying is wrong. Let me make some changes in my life. It's the only thing I can hope for that he does.
Do you ever think you'll see him on any of the promotions that you go?
Nah, no one. I put it this way: no one's smart enough to book him. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
Do you see any of the I know Damian Wayne, he's travels all over the place, and guys, do you see any of those guys from XIW in Texas, Carolina, wherever you?
I'm hoping to see more of Damian Wayne in places I work, like in North Carolina, like in Texas, because those kind of areas, like he's born and bred for. Like he's that old school, like territory guy to me, and he belongs in those areas. And also, I do. Oh yeah, I do see the state line. There in Texas. What month is that? I'm getting old. I can't remember my months, but a few months ago, we're all together there in Texas. Love them to death. Really talented tag team that I think more people need to recognize and just say, hey, I need to put them on. I need to have them on my show because they're really good. They as we say in the business, they get it. Um, Same with the unprofessionals. They're working hard, a lot of potential there. Um, I would love to see them more too. And Jackson Slade, like really phenomenal talent, great look, everything. And I think it's a shame that, our promotions like just jumped at the chance, say, hey, let me work with him, let me do something with him. Because he really has a bright future and really nice guy behind the scenes.
Good friend of talk to him all the time at the stuff like that. I love the storyline that they're doing.
Oh yeah.
I have to ask you a prediction because you mentioned Jackson Slade. So you know the storyline. If he brought in JKO to try to beat up Jackson Slade, that didn't work. All that thing fell apart, and then now Adrian Whisper has Chase Stevens from Impact
Oh
and
yeah.
some big ass bodyguard that's a goon, and they won last month or the chance to go steel cage Jackson Slade. Do you see Jackson Slade losing the belt? See him
Ooh,
retaining.
it's a deck stacked against him, but it's not something he's hasn't faced before. He's always had a deck stacked against him. However, this time, Chase Stevens, that dude is tough in the ring, outside the ring. Well, so is Jackson, but Chase Stevens is like, I don't know. But I really had to get the edge to Chase Stevens this time. He has the experience factor, and he's not coming to lose. So Chase Stevens for the W.
I do follow you on social media. I've noticed that there was a stent last week at the hospital. I read some stuff on you. Don't care to talk about. That's good. But I heard, I see that you were battling cancer, et cetera, et cetera. Reasons why you were in the hospital. Like, hey, man, you
Oh, I'm doing better now. I had surgery last Thursday. Issue in my stomach. Did that. Um, they did a tissue sample, which means it's gonna maybe take a little while. So a little bit of my mind is kind of like a little worry, anticipation, but hey, still living every day regardless. Um, I did do something I shouldn't have done. I did a show like a few days after surgery. Got through it. Worked with Scott Hudson from WCW. Superstar Fan Fest. Started feeling like a lot of pain because I think it was too soon for me to be like straining and talking, doing commentary. But I wanted to do it. I didn't want to let Scott down, so I did that. Um, Immediately, I ended up having to go back to the hospital again and make sure everything's good. They discharged me, and now I'm doing all right. So I'm hanging.
praying for you.
Thank
You're in our prayers all the time.
you. I
And so
appreciate
it's cool that when I started going to XIW events and how they welcomed myself and the kids I brought and etc. You were one of those guys that was there, and you talked to my kids, and I that means a lot to us to know that you're real people outside that ring.
it. Oh yeah,
Is cool. So you're always in my thoughts. I follow. You got you, man. So
I appreciate it. Thank you.
what's your view on self care? How important is
Oh, it's one of those things that I always heard the word, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's good, but I didn't do it, and I learned the importance of it through the hardship. Um, if you don't take time to just think about yourself, think about okay, something that makes you happy and joyous. Yeah, the work you do might make you happy, but that's not all there is to you. Um, Even if it means just sitting in your bed watching Netflix for a day or something, that's self-care. That's something good. That's something that's affordable, something you can do. And I think sometimes we think self-care, we think, oh, that means I gotta go on some expensive trip somewhere. No, it could be right in your house. Um, or if you do want a trip, can always go for a drive somewhere. I always try to tell people something that's not, too expensive. Even if you got video games at home, you want to go to Dave and Buster's for a day, do something for you. Make it happen. Give yourself something to look forward to during the week too. Um, on Fridays, typically after work, especially on paydays, more than likely. But I like to think about, okay, I'm gonna go out to eat. I might go to Outback Steakhouse, something. Just give myself something to look forward to the week.
I will say that um, my wife and I just got back from our respite 19 days ago. Just had a condo on the beach, and it was a
Oh,
gift to us. They gave it to us. Lady donated it to us, and we were there, and we did nothing but go to the beach or to watch Netflix or get Hulu and watch TV. It was just the
nice.
most relaxing time, cheapest. You know what I'm saying? It didn't take money. It was just enjoying one another.
And if you don't do it like that self care, I tell people, especially like in fields that involve like caring for others, it can be so easy to fall down a slippery slope of where you start getting angry, you get upset. You feel that your tolerance becomes like really drained and low. As soon as you recognize those signs, okay, make a decision, say, okay, I'm going to take a break from this for a minute. Even I tell other people this. I know some folks don't want to do it, but if you have PTO, if you had to take, as they say, a mental health day, you got suddenly a sudden cough, take that day. It's okay. Do it. I always tell people this about any job. It was there before you got it, it'll be there after. You gotta take care of yourself.
All right. I'm going to jump down to what I thought I was going to finish the interview with. I have a kids. What are the kids? We work with kiddos, so I got a kids question. Do you play video games?
Oh, absolutely.
What's your favorite?
I'm horrible at them.
Huh?
I'm horrible at them these days.
Your favorite one, man?
Ooh, favorite. Came out in 2020, but I still play it. Streets of Rage 4. I waited decades for it to make a sequel. It was one of my favorite Genesis games. And that's how old I am. And I just absolutely love that. Love that side scrolling beat 'em up genre. But that particular one is the best. That and I've been playing a little bit of WWE 2K22. Um, I like that they improved it a lot. They have a ways to go, to be honest, but big change over the last few years.
Favorite food?
Oof. Pizza. Pizza all day. No pineapple because that's kind of gross. But pizza or steak. Love steak.
Wife likes pizza. She has to have everything pizza. We call it garbage pizza. Piles everything. Thinking that stuff. I'm not a fan of. I eat pizza, but I'm not. That's not my. Oh my god, I have to have it. But yeah, so she's not allowed to have it anymore. So she's grouchy about it because she has a stomach issue too. She has a gastroparesis.
Oh.
She has
Oh.
gastroparesis, so that's pretty tough. But
Oh, sorry.
favorite music?
Oh my goodness. I like some from every genre. I love Chris Stapleton. But I have to say, and this is to catch a lot of people off guard, I absolutely love Janet Jackson. Like I can just listen to any song, even her new stuff, and be like, "Ooh, love it." And I have a crush on it too.
I have a
So
I have a funny story about Janet Jackson. Borderline inappropriate. But we have friends. We have friends from Michigan City, Indiana, and Chicago area. Running joke years and years and years and years ago. Used to hang out and party all the time. My friend Sergio would always talk about Janet Jackson and her song "Throb."
oh yeah.
I listened to it one time. I'm like, "What the fuck am I listening to? You know, and I mean, it's one of those things, you know, like, okay, yeah, but then you want to go listen to it again, you know, so it's just, yeah, that's my Janet Jackson.
Boom, boom, boom to the new.
Right.
Throb.
So, I think it's cool because, when I started dating my wife, I don't do it as much anymore. Hardly, no, don't do it at all. See that you write poetry.
Oh, yes.
At one of your self care things that I do you produce your poetry?
I um I like to do a lot of electronic music behind it. I also love just the process of writing, getting the thoughts down on paper, taking that time to say, okay, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna write this. This is what's on my mind. Sometimes you can get lost in that for a few hours, and it just sometimes you forget what was bugging you in the first place when you do that. And it's the most cathartic thing. Um, Being creative with it and just putting it all out there. I love doing it.
So, in your promo, you talked about the Black Diamond farewell tour. All right, let's talk about that. But I have now. Is that anything to do with your Texas style news?
Well, the Texas style news,
That I think you made that post about an hour ago or an hour prior to this interview. So I had to ask that question. What exactly is the big Texas style news that you share?
big Texas style news is that the Black Diamond Farewell Tour was to end in December 2022, but it has now been extended into mid 2023 because I am booked and through June of next year. And I'm going to be in Texas a lot more, doing a lot more things. So just stay tuned.
Is that where we're gonna find Professor P and Big Johnny G?
Unfortunately, but
that I'm just to say,
business.
Professor P, man, get a grip, dude. That's a shout out to Professor P. If you're watching this, gimmick sucks.
Thank you.
You're holding this damn Bible or book. You're trying to make rhymes, and you sound like a total asshole. And you sound worse than the guy off the Eminem show that got beat by whatever by Eminem. And come on, dude. I hope you wrestle better than you talk. That's you, Professor. You
He can't,
wrestle. He can't wrestle better than he talks.
he
He can't
can't
talk.
wrestle. And he can't talk. The thing is, and stuff, I want to tell him, next time I see him and say, hey, I liked it better when the Genius did that gimmick, like almost 30 years
Yes,
ago.
yes.
So,
Thank you. That was Poffle, right? Lottie Poffle.
right, uh-huh.
Dude, Professor P, stop. Let Lanny Poffle be. Okay?
Just don't become Leaping Lanny Poffle because I don't want to see him do a moonsault.
No, I don't either. No, that'd be funny as hell, man. I'd pay for that. So King of Sports Championship Wrestling, is that where you're gonna be? Is that Texas?
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to extend the tour into them. Also going to go out to, finally, California. I had to get more confirmation on promotion again, but hopefully, fingers crossed it happens. I was to go out there, but pandemic happened, and all that got pushed off. But California, 2023.
Hey man, I'm glad to see you. I mean, incredible in what you do. Your shoot job is not a therapist. You're a counselor, right?
Same difference, yeah. They're like entertaining.
Two more questions, my guy. Then I'll let you go. So let's go with this one. So if you had anything to put this in, say to Duke, JKO, or anybody.
Kiss my ass. No, I'm kidding.
I know you tell one of them that, but
right. To Duke the Dumpster, even though we have our differences, I appreciate you being one of the few vets that took a chance, wanted to work with me, went along with my crazy story idea, and supported me throughout the whole thing. And hell, we made money together. Just the promoter sucked, but we made money. So hey, um, to JKO, you know, two things. Say it the Southern way. Bless your heart. Please find help. Find Jesus. Do something for yourself because what you're doing right now, I see nothing but a prison sentence coming your way. And to all the detractors or the haters or the people who try to put me down, you know, apparently I'm not a ghost. I'm still standing. I'm still here. I'm still booked. I'm booked more than you all. So, hey.
I said it. He's booked more than you. He's booked. Hey, what do you guys got?
Right. A hot dog and a handshake.
Yeah. Where can myself and fans find you on social media? And
All right. On Twitter, you can find me at Scenic1 on there, or search for Get Seen. Get Seen. Uh, find me there. I use Twitter a little bit, not as much, but I'm trying. I'm getting back in the groove again. Also, Facebook, if you're not a Russian bot, and if you have more than like two mutual friends, I'll more than likely I'll add you. Just please don't be weird. Uh, and you can purchase my shirts, prowrestlingtees.com/Scene Nick. I have a Janet Jackson Control album inspired shirt because I might be a fan of hers, and some more shirts. So just take your pick, get those, and find me on Spotify, Scene Nick. Most of my music is instrumental. I just released an EP of some pop punk music, something completely different for me, and worked really hard on it. I actually learned to do the instruments myself, so yeah, that was hard.
on my wall back here, my creating me podcast wall.
Oh, nice.
Where do I go to get an autograph 8x10 for you? Message you about?
Oh yeah.
I like to put it on. I like to put it on the wall. I got the opportunity to talk with Casual Wrestling Podcast.
Oh, definitely. Actually, hey, shoot me a message, address. I'll try and get you an autograph in the coming few weeks.
Nice, thank you, man. Again, we have the King of Sports Championship Wrestling announcer, our promoter manager. We have the Black Diamond, Scene Nick. Thank you, man, for joining me tonight. Thank you for sharing your stories.
Oh, and one more thing. In 2023, some point, don't have a date quite yet, but we might see Black Diamond Pro and the Black Diamond Invitational come back.
All right.
Which is the nice little belt you saw.
Yeah, that's epic, man. So let me know when that comes out.
Oh, definitely.
That's a sick belt, man. Appreciate you, my guy. Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. Huge Pop over here. And Scene Nick over there. Thank you, my guy, for coming on and chatting for a while. I appreciate it. And have a blessed night, my guy.
You too. I appreciate you. Thank you all for all you do. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
All my dogs, make some noise up in this house. Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down.